What do you do when you feel like a failure and that you're behind in life? I'm no stranger to this feeling. I've felt like this pretty much all the way through my life. And I always felt as though people had something better than I did. I felt like they always achieved more than I did at an earlier age. I would consider myself to be a late bloomer. So as an example, I'm going to talk about career. One of my biggest problems has been indecisiveness. Indecisiveness has always hindered my career prospects. And when you have a brain that runs low on dopamine, you only really get short-term rewards from short-term endeavors. So anything long-term was kind of like moot to me. It was nil and void because I couldn't really associate with the work and getting that reward. And so as you can imagine, this translated into me never really quite getting my foot up the career ladder. You know, it's hard enough when you have a job market that is oversaturated and extremely competitive, and it's like a losing battle. That's the way I feel about it. You know, I think I've got to a place in my life where I just accept imperfection and I just feel grateful for the things I have got and the things I have achieved, because there's only so much you can do. You know, what happens, say, if I went to school for 10 years to become a doctor and I just end up hating it? What a waste of time, right? So I just focus on the simplicities of life, the little pleasures and the lessons that I've learned that are like a teacher for me. So I'm accepting of having an ordinary day job that doesn't make much money, but as long as I get to do what I want on the side and find ways to improve on that and maybe make some money out of it, it'll do. Without trials and tribulations, there's no stimulation, there's just stagnation. So I just want you to remember that the media often conflates the best of the best lifestyles. That's what you're really seeing. You're not seeing the homeless guy on the street who lost his job, lost everything. You're seeing the best of the best. And it's really a propaganda machine that creates an illusion of what you should have or aspire to. I think the problem is when you start comparing yourself to other people. Really, you should be comparing yourself to your past self from, a few years ago. Like, I know for a fact I'm doing better than I was a year ago. And this is the thing, we get caught into the trap of comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's very easy for you to think that people think you're a failure, but they don't know your story. They don't know the journey you've been through and are continuing down. So really, you should take pride in what you've already been through and keep on looking after yourself and taking pride in personal growth and getting better. Everybody has a certain set of circumstances, and you've just got to work with the card that life has dealt you. I'm always trying to be optimistic about the possibilities that could be in my life journey. And I think this is part of the human condition, where we're always striving for more. And once we achieve that, well, now what? Well, what about the next thing? I'm always looking for the next best thing. Stop. Life is much like a video game, and that sounds cliche, but it's kind of true, because this is your game character, and each game is unique to the individual. You can customize your character in some of these games, and you choose certain actions and you get certain outcomes. It's the exact same principle. But the difference is that we don't have that save game just before a dodgy part of the game where you could possibly die. But luckily, most of the time, mistakes can be corrected and new pathways can be taken. So I'm just going to carry on following my instincts. I'm going to persevere, because at the end of the day, what other choice do I have? There's no point in giving up. I mean, then I'm 100% guaranteed not to get anything. So even if it takes me 10, 20 years to finally get what I think is acceptable or good, as part of the life, I can only do what's best in my power with my brain. I can only do what's best with my intent. And it's my intent that matters the most. So if I put my best foot forward and try and fail 100 times, it doesn't matter, because it's a numbers game. At the end of the day, at some point, if you persevere, you're gonna get some kind of result. It might not be as great as you thought it would be, but it's gonna be better than nothing. So this is why I think we need to challenge our self-limiting beliefs and ask ourselves, why do I really think I can't do that? Why is that? Is it because I believe that I'm gonna mess up from past experiences? That might be a smart conclusion to come to, because you've got evidence from the past in your history that shows, maybe it's not the best for me. So I know as an introvert, I ain't going to be any good at sales.
No, that's fine if you don't want it.
I just know it's going to completely drain me, burn me out, and I ain't built for it, and that's okay. All that means is that I've eradicated that option from my life, and now that leaves more room for me to focus on the things I am good at, that my personality naturally excels at. Are you trying to force yourself into this one-sided story that isn't even your story? Is it somebody else's story? Is it a parent's story? Is it society's story? You know, I would never consider in the past content creator to be a real job, but honestly, I'm starting to think that one day this could be my full-time job, and it's fantastic. It is a skill. I love doing it, and you know, it's working. So I encourage everyone to do the same. Find that one thing that they're naturally inclined to do, and do it regardless of whether it makes money, and keep at it until you do find a way to make money. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope it's motivated you a bit to feel a bit less alone in your life, because believe me, you're not. I thought I was for a long time, but I look around me at everyone and they're pretty much in the same boat in a different way. That goes for the large majority of people. You just don't see it. That's the problem. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video and it helped you a bit, and I'll see you next time.